Welcome back to Read the Book First. Today we'll be talking about Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation. And to help me break down this book, Marissa is back on the pod.
It's me doing another romance.
And not
Who
another.
knew?
Okay, last season we did so many sci-fi.
That's
You
right.
and
I
I
did so many
specifically.
sci-fi. We have not done one single romance or
No, we
this
haven't.
since, but we haven't done one single fantasy ever, which is my preferred genre.
Yes. A side note, when I was doing my like wrap up of what I read in 2025 and I was like looking at what I rated and I was like, what are my least favorite books? They're the ones I read with specifically the sci-fi books I didn't like that. But I did like one of them.
You like Stepford
I
Wives.
like Stepford's because it was barely sci-fi.
That's right.
But I read so much. Anyway, that's another conversation. Okay, just the focus.
Janessa doesn't like me. Note it here. Note it here. She hates me and she hates the stuff I read. Okay?
Uh, That's me,
Which is
number one.
crazy because I love her so much.
I have a few bookish online friends who read this book when it was an arc and like were like bothering me to read about it. But then I know. Yeah, this is before Emily Henry blew up, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And I
Which
was
is
like,
weird because this
whatever.
is her second book.
It's actually her third. She has a YA book that came out before any of
That's
them.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's her second adult.
Yes. They bothered me a lot to read this, and then I didn't because I wasn't yet in like full on romance world. And then you started being like, you have to read, beach read, you have to read this. Like, and I read this
To
so
be fair,
late
I did
compared
not
to
tell
you.
you to read People We Meet on Vacation
It's true, you didn't.
because I didn't, it wasn't my favorite.
No.
But I did threaten physical violence
Yes.
against you to want to read Book Lovers.
Yes.
That is canon.
Yes, that is canon. So I just kind of book Emily Henry in with the books that Marissa has threatened me in order to get to me to read. Um, there's the list is slightly growing. We reread this for preparing for this episode for the movie, and originally, I mean, I still think of Emily Henry's books that I've read. I've not read Funny Story or the newest one, The Great BBL, whatever it's called. Um, but of the ones I've read, this one is still like my least favorite of them. But
Hmm.
I will say on this second read, I liked it more.
Me too, Janessa.
Yay!
Yeah, I was shocked. I really like I just wanted to read it. And the
Hmm.
so my Emily Henry lore is that I must have gotten Beach Read on like a Kindle deal. Like it was on
Yeah.
sale, like super cheap. And I used to do that all the time, which is why my Kindle is like chock full of random books that I'm like, what is this book even? But and so I was at home after after my Mentee B.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I was like, I just want to read. And so I was like, well, this book seems like light and fun. And this was Beach Read.
Hmm.
And I read it in one sitting, sitting in my parents' rocking chair because they don't have another chair for me because they live in a
Rude.
condo. Yeah. And yeah, so I read it and I was like, oh my God, love this. It was
Hmm.
so good. Beach Read is very good.
Hmm.
Also, hopefully being adapted. And then
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, obviously at this time it was, I think People We Meet on Vacation was, sorry, was the only other book that was out.
Hmm.
Book Lovers hadn't come out yet. So I
Hmm.
like immediately People We Meet on Vacation on hold at the library. And as soon as I got it, I read it and I was like, disappointing
Hmm.
because I wanted it to be like Beach Read and it wasn't like Beach Read.
Yes.
But yes, I
Which,
did. And then I read
yeah,
all of
yeah,
them. But
yeah,
and I haven't read The Great BBL either. But I was pleasantly surprised on the second reread
yeah.
or first reread, the reread,
The
whatever that is,
reread. Yeah. I
because I
I was
really did love it.
yeah, I was really nervous about it because I had, last year I finally read Happy Place, which I loved. Talk about a
Hmm.
Janessa book. That book is a Janessa book. But
That is a Janessa book, like Book Lovers is a Marissa book.
yes it is. Yes it is. But yet Beach Read's still my favorite of her books. And that's okay. And so I was nervous going into this. I was like, I already had this like kind of like not negative. I gave it a of like a high rating the first time I read it. It's just my least favorite of her books, right? It's not like I don't like
Right.
it.
It's all
Um,
relative.
exactly. And so I was nervous, and then and we were talking about we were like because in my memory, Poppy, our main character, is such a manic pixie dream girl in my memory.
Hmm.
And then with all the promo for the movies, like they have all these like wild little moments that because they have to put the funniest moments in the trailer. That's how it works. And I was like, oh no, she is so quirky. Oh no. Oh no.
It's very funny for two very quirky girls.
I know.
We're like, ugh, manic pixie dream girls,
Right?
yucky.
My millennial ass, like, this is what you love. Why are you booing it? But as we reread it, like the first half, I was like, okay, this is what I remember. But the second half, I was like, wait, I love this.
Hmm.
Yeah, which
Same.
I did not think I was going to be that way because I remember not enjoying the second half last time, essentially when they actually go on the vacation.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked all the flashbacks last time, but I think this time I liked it the opposite,
I did too.
which
This
is
is
weird.
crazy.
Weird. Is this maturing?
Oh my
Hmm.
God, I hope not.
If you've never read this book, it's essentially a newer modern version of When Harry Met Sally, except for the male character is the more quote neurotic one, and the female character is the more spontaneous one. So
Hmm.
it's obviously it's this book is very inspired by When Harry Met Sally, and like there's some very obvious references to it, but
Yeah,
it's very much its own thing.
totally. I mean, she obviously, you can see the inspiration for other works
Hmm.
of media in all her work. There is like that like long friendship, um,
Hmm.
that, the will they, won't they. But the kind of direct premise is pretty unique with the traveling and
Hmm.
it makes me like jealous. I'm like, I want to go on trips with my friends.
Right? That's why I was like, okay, this book is improbable, not because they fall in love and live happily ever after. It's improbable because they actually follow through with their plans.
I know.
Like they
The
leave
two
their
millennials who
houses,
follow through on their plans
right?
and go to foreign places.
Yeah.
Sometimes not
It's like,
foreign, but
yeah,
places that aren't their hometowns.
yeah. Um, I I was thinking, I was like, how are we going to talk about this book because it's so non-chronological because there's so
Yeah,
much
it's very
current.
nonlinear.
Yeah, so we can just bounce around, which is fine. They meet in the classic Harry Met Sally way where they are set up by a mutual friend to ride back home to Ohio together. The amount of time was
Well, no,
Ohio's
they meet at
they meet
orientation,
orientation, I forgot. When he's wearing the khakis.
and they're like, we will never speak again. You are
Yes.
weird and you are uptight and like
Yeah.
never the twain shall meet.
Which is such an
But then,
accurate description of orientation at college.
oh my God, it's so true.
Like remember this girl that I was paired up with for whatever icebreaker activities, and I didn't see her again until like almost my end of college, and we were in class, and I was like, "Hey!" And I went to a small school, well,
Sure.
smaller school, so
Hmm.
very accurate in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
then they have to go on that car ride home to Ohio together. Their initial like conversation in the car, I think is such a fun setup because like even though they both grow and change so much by the end of the book because it takes place over what is it over
It's
5 years,
like a
it's 12 years.
decade. Yeah.
Yeah. um they grow so much, but at the same time them in that car at the very beginning, it's very like Poppy's sporadic. She likes all these crazy like different music types. Alex is like, I hate feet and saxophones,
And I love running,
and I love running.
which I found there. I love Alex.
Hmm.
Not relatable. Hate to run.
Yeah, also he hates saxophones. That like hurts my heart.
And song covers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Alex, no, no, no.
Yeah. Poor guy. So that then she's in the future. We have Poppy, she has her dream job in New York. This is like current day. She has her dream job of writing for a travel magazine, like a bougie travel magazine. Also, this is written in 2021 was when it was published. The fact
Hmm.
that magazine is still her job was
How
very
can
questionable.
magazine be job?
Magazine ain't job anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Maybe if you work
And
at like
like,
Vogue.
yeah, and like her bestie being the like Instagram influencer, I was like, okay, that's the job. And then like
Right.
obviously,
Poppy started
yeah,
blogging.
and then went away
She
from
was
it.
like
And I
a
was like, that's
travel
not,
blogger.
yeah,
Yeah, so straight, so opposite of what I would
yeah.
expect.
Yeah, if this was like written in like the mid 2010s, then I'd be like, yeah, sure, magazine can be job. But in 2021, magazine cannot be job.
Magazine cannot be job.
No. Who's buying a bougie magazine about traveling?
About traveling in this year, the year
Yeah,
after COVID.
COVID. Yeah. I mean,
Girl.
it also makes sense that Emily Henry was writing a book about traveling during COVID. That makes sense.
Yeah, Wanderlust.
Yes, yes. I do love her best friend who is the Instagram influencer who like every week or month shares her like ugly photos, not touched up photos, and then
Yeah.
also is like obsessively rescuing weird little dogs.
hmm
I was like,
She has like 10
she's living the
pugs.
dream.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
I do feel like Rachel is way more manic pixie than Poppy ends up being, but like in a
hmm
way that's I don't mind because
Yeah,
it's yeah.
I agree.
I do like that we have the setup of like we don't know what went wrong in Croatia. We just know something happened. And on this read through, I think the first half I liked a little bit less because it's so obvious that they love each other from like chapter two, you know?
Right. And
I wanted
yes,
yeah. I wanted some more like, oh, we don't actually love each other anymore because of this weird thing in Croatia. It's like, no, they still just love each other. That was
yeah,
like
they
my
just
one
don't
thing that I was
talk
like,
anymore because of whatever happened on this vacation that they took.
mm-hmm.
Have we talked about
Yeah.
the premise that they're friends that meet in college and then Poppy ends up dropping out, but they agree because they're best friends that every summer they'll take a trip together. And so
Yeah.
basically the book follows like back and forth that tr until something disastrous happens at this trip in Croatia and they haven't had a trip in 2 years. And then
Mm-hmm.
Poppy's like, hey, want to go to Palm Springs in the middle of freaking summer?
Right?
No.
Right? No.
Pass, 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 pass.
Uh-huh. And their earlier vacations were like on like college kid dropout budget,
hmm
aka nothing. And
Yeah.
so, which is fun to see those flashbacks because we see them having these like their trip to Vancouver is just a mess, but it's such a trip that two 22-year-olds would go on. Like I went on trips like that all the time with my friends. We're like, hey,
Same,
we got
yes.
$300. We can go on a huge trip. No, you can't. Stay, girl, girl.
That I love Victoria too. So
hmm
that, I mean, I used to go there all the time because my aunt lives in Squim. So we just
hmm
hopped the ferry in Port Angeles.
hmm
So yeah, I very much was like, oh, I love Victoria. It is the most beautiful place on earth.
Victoria is beautiful. I've not been to
Yeah,
Victoria since I was a teenager. I've been to Vancouver a lot.
sure.
I like Vancouver.
Canada is nice
hmm
for many reasons.
For many reasons. Anyways, we're doing great, guys. Everything's fine. Um,
hmm
I didn't realize till like chapter 5 or 6 that this is like very heavily inspired by When Harry Met Sally. But I realized I had not watched that movie until after I had read this book because I didn't watch that movie until a couple years ago, which is wild.
That's crazy,
Isn't that crazy?
Vanessa.
I know.
It's because you didn't have cable growing up. That
It's
movie
because I
was
didn't have
always on
cable,
cable.
and it's because I watched Bridget Jones' Diary, and I was like, I don't need to watch another movie in my life. This is it. This is the end.
Actually, I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that fully. Yeah.
Yeah. So halfway, like on my notes, I'm just seeing like around chapter 5 or 6, I wrote, wait, When Harry Met Sally? And then I was like, duh,
hmm
idiot. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. The,
Um,
like flashing back and forward on their
hmm
friendship and
hmm
where they're at in their lives.
The time jumps.
Absolutely.
when Poppy has her breakdown, when she's realizing that she's not happy, immediately she's like, "When's the last time I was happy? It was when I was with Alex." And from that point on, I was like, "Okay, I need a little bit more yearn that's questionable." Like, but it's obvious. Like, which is like, obviously, this is a romance. They're gonna end up together. I know that, but I want some question. I want to be like, will they? Won't they? Before I
Yeah,
get
I think
there.
Poppy is so in denial. And so just like, well, we don't want the same things. We don't want the same things. When it's like, girl, the whole premise of this Palm Springs trip is you don't know what you want.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hello.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And her boss being like, honey, you need to take a break. You need to go to therapy. It's like, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your boss
Uh,
noticed, you know?
she texts him accidentally, hey. And that's when they start talking and she pitches the Palm Spring trip. And they end up going, and it just so happens his younger brother is getting married in Palm Springs the week after. So it works out. And Poppy's like, we're gonna go do this. Like she doesn't tell him, but she's like, I'm gonna pay for this out of pocket because I'm taking a vacation. But he thinks it's
Right.
a
She
trip
tries
for
to
a
pitch
magazine.
it. She
Yeah.
tries to pitch it to her magazine job,
Hmm.
in quotes. How is magazine job? But the boss, rightfully so, was like, in the middle
Hmm.
of summer, Palm Springs.
Yeah.
No, nobody's gonna
Hmm.
want that.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so Poppy realizes she has to do it on her own, pay for it on her own.
Hmm.
So she like pitches it to him as like, oh, we can do this like we used to, when we were broke college kids. And Alex is a teacher, so he's still kind of broke.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
but yeah, so Janessa knows.
Rude. Become a
But
patron.
hell yeah, do it. But yeah, so they like plan to do everything on a budget. And so Poppy starts, because that's how Poppy got her start on her blog, was
Hmm.
doing like
Budget trips.
budget trips. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we get the flashback to the BC trip. And I love that the whole like house party. Cause like, so they meet this water taxi driver who is some hippie whose grandparents let them have this huge house and they just have people come and go. His name's Buck. And like uh Poppy ends up making out with Buck but doesn't want to sleep with him and he's like, okay, cool, bye. And like but like in a not like F you kind of way, more in a like, I want to have sex with someone and there's a bunch of hippies in this house, so I'm gonna go find someone to have sex with me, which
Yep.
is very water taxi
Very.
driver coded. So, someone who grew up on an island? Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This book, one thing about this book that I don't remember is it's so funny. And Emily Henry is really funny.
Yes.
Um, and like there were parts in this that made me like cry laugh. And one of the
Hmm.
parts was where they're in the boat with Buck, and it's this, I'm assuming it's like a single pontoon, like,
Yeah.
or like a Zodiac or something.
Yeah.
And so there, it's so loud. And the whole time he's like gesturing and
Hmm.
obviously talking to them, but they're like, we can't hear anything. Is he gonna murder us? Like, what is going on here? And the way it's written is just so funny between like
Hmm.
Alex and Poppy's banter. Yeah,
Hmm.
banter.
I love that we see their banter continue to develop, and then when they're in Palm Spring, it like is weird and stagnant, and then it starts again all of a sudden,
Hmm.
and it's such a, especially since we see Alex, like whenever he's not interacting with Poppy, he's so introverted, so like anxious about everything, like he's just,
Hmm.
and I like that we see that, and like yes, Poppy is very like bubbly and talks to everyone and makes friends everywhere, but like the way she talks with specifically Alex is different. And
Right. And they have all these like inside jokes and
hmm.
like saying like,
Yeah.
oh, it speaks to me, or yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I really love that.
When they get to the Palm Springs, they she borrows a car from some like essentially Airbnb but your own car situation, and it's a crappy little car, and they're like, "Oh, LOL, this is so funny, like the old days." And they get to this crappy hotel or Airbnb of a hotel, and the AC is out. There's like the weird construction plastic on the patio. The pool is full of everyone because you're in Palm Springs in the summer.
Yeah. And
Gross.
everybody's AC is out,
Yeah.
it turns out. So
And there's one bed and one like couch that or chair that flattens into a bed.
yeah, an armchair that flattens out into a bed.
Uh-huh.
Nothing. This is my nightmare. The
Mm-hmm.
room is 80 degrees. Another nightmare of mine. I would simply melt right into a puddle.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's the middle of Palm Springs in the summer.
Yeah.
So like there's no relief.
No, no.
Everything is going wrong.
Poppy's trying to make this like perfect vacation, nostalgic vacation to try and like chase her happiness, and try to recreate her and Alex's old, relationship before the weirdness of Croatia. And it's not working because it's falling apart. And I'm just like that idea of sitting in that hotel is just like
Well, also
miserable.
like it's so immature. Like they know this thing happened between them and they're like, let's never talk about it.
Hmm.
It's like, come on, guys.
And they have to be almost 30 at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they took 10, what was it, 10 trips?
Yeah.
And then there was 2 years that they didn't take a trip after Croatia.
Yeah. So they have to be almost 30, which like
Mm-hmm.
this behavior is very like 22-year-old,
Yes.
but they are both 30. They're both professionals and they both have fully developed frontal lobes at this time.
Mm-hmm. Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like that part, like the miscommunication of it all is a little annoying, but it makes sense for the plot. Because
Yeah. And
like,
it does make sense with like Poppy and what we
mm-hmm.
end up learning about her and
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
her uh mostly romantic relationships and how they've kind of
Mm-hmm.
functioned and
Mm-hmm.
how she's like embarrassed of who she is and like she's somehow both very confident in herself and
Yes.
also like embarrassed of like where she comes from and who she is and
Yeah. It's
it's a
so
very interesting
interesting.
dynamic. Hmm.
Yeah, because she like talks about her parents and her brothers with all the love and like they are just as loud and unique and sporadic as she is, except for when it's in the house, it's like when they have friends over, the mom's like, "Oh, I can make you cookies. Send there. Oh, look, there's leftovers. Oh, look, I need to do the dishes." And it's essentially a house full of people who have undiagnosed ADHD, and I feel
Yeah,
like they're just
absolutely.
all
Hmm.
like, ping pong balls bouncing around.
Yes.
And
And the house is
like,
like cluttered and
yeah.
there's like cars in the
Yeah.
it actually reminds me of my grandparents' house, both
Hmm.
of whom were like lived through the Great Depression. So
Hmm. So they
like
kept every
like a
Tupperware.
peanut butter
Uh-huh.
jar of like bent nails that maybe my grandpa would unbend and be able to use again. Yeah. So
Yep. It reminds me of my
um
grandparents. Yep. Uh-huh. When she brings one of her boyfriends home, because through these flashbacks, we also see them with their different relationships. And one of her boyfriends, as soon as he meets her parents, dumps her. And then,
and he's a dick about it. He's like, "Oh, I
yes.
get why you're a freak."
Yeah.
And his
Yeah. And it just like ruins her. Like, I mean, she has other issues as well, but as far as romance and her family and her parents meeting, her various boyfriends, she's like, no, never, no, not gonna
Mhm.
happen."
And it all stems from her feeling like she grew up in this like kind of straight-laced Ohio town where she felt
Hmm.
really out of place and she had some really horrific experiences
Hmm.
in high school.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that just, yeah, it really shaped the way that she felt about herself and felt about like her relationships with other people.
Yeah.
Just kind of feeling like the out of like the black sheep in this
Hmm.
town and
Hmm.
yeah. So when she
Yeah.
finally finds Alex and he gets like he understands her,
Hmm.
even though they're like so unlikely,
Hmm.
it's it's such a revelation to her.
Hmm.
that, yeah.
Yeah. And she's such a commitment phobe that she can't commit to more than one vacation a year. She can't commit to more than one like week of hanging out with him without being like, oh no, like what if,
Hmm.
after 2 months he says no, we can never hang out, you know? It's just like an
Yeah.
extreme weird version of commitment issues.
Yeah. Like she's like afraid if she's around him too long, he will say, like, ugh,
Hmm.
get away from me. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, at the crappy hotel in Palm Spring, the next morning after the first night, Alex wakes up and he has a back spasm because he's been dealing with that on and off for the last couple years, but Poppy doesn't know about it because they've not been talking.
There are some like devastating things that
Yeah.
Poppy doesn't know because they haven't spoken. Like that his grandmother died, who
Mm-hmm.
Poppy ended up like she loved,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was really like kind of painful to read actually, like that he
Mm-hmm.
just didn't feel like he could tell her
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Sad.
Very sad because like she was one of the people that Poppy that accepted Poppy as well, like an extension of
Hmm.
Alex essentially. As they're like hanging out and she's like giving him medicine and stuff, he's like talking about how he wants a wife and kids. And Poppy is like thinking like, "Oh, I love the idea of him having that."
Right.
And then like
Right.
always awkwardly
And
brings up Sarah.
she's so hung up on Sarah, who is
Yeah,
Alex's on and
on and
off
off
again
again. Yeah,
girlfriend. Yeah.
of years.
Who now lives in the same small Ohio
And
town
works the same
and
high school.
works. I, yeah, it's so weird.
It's so
Like,
messy.
girl, move somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
move closer to your parents.
Mm-hmm. I said, I wrote down pages. What did I want to write on pages? It's about the New Orleans trip.
Is it the dancing?
Yep, it's the dancing. She thinks to herself, I love you more now than I ever have there, right? So like,
Hmm. And she always talks about that there's this like 95% of the time she
hmm
like isn't attracted to Alex and doesn't want to be with him.
hmm
But then there's that 5%, and then like it's like every year it gets like, oh, now it's 10, now it's 15.
hmm
It's like, girl,
I think
girl.
it's more than that. But like, and through these flashbacks, we find more slowly. We find obviously more about Poppy because it's more from her like point of view, the whole story. But Alex's mom died when he was really young, and his dad was very religious, and he's the oldest of his like two or three. I think there's three of them total. And so he
Mhm.
ends up being like very parental because his dad deals with a lot of depression after the death of his mother. And then we find out that Alex's youngest brother is gay, and it took a while, but their dad is, very supportive in a conservative Christian way. But he has a bumper sticker, which is,
That's
that's
right.
cute.
And he wears a giant pride
Yes.
pin at the wedding rehearsal.
Yes. Um, but we essentially learned that Alex was parentified very young, and Alex, to me and to many people, is very autistic coded, and very much. And he was given this job of being the parent. And then he was
Mhm.
like, the rest of my life, I will do that and I will take no joys for myself until everyone else is happy and safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like a
And
big thing for
hmm
Poppy is that she knows this and doesn't ever want him to need her
hmm
or other way. Like she doesn't need
Yeah.
want to be needy towards him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also he is like such a pain in the ass to take care of because
hmm
of it.
Yeah, because he won't, when his back is hurting and he's having these spasms and he's like, I'm
He
fine. She's like,
can't
no.
move.
Yeah. She's like,
It's not
I'm
like
going to
he's
get
like
you medicine.
ouchie. Like he like
Yeah.
can't unbend himself. Like
Yeah.
this is severe.
hmm
He has to
Yeah.
take muscle relaxers.
Yikes. Yeah, poor Alex. When they're in Paul, and because of the back issues, like Poppy has like planned all these events and it doesn't go to as planned because of course it doesn't. Um, like they do plan on going to specifically the Living Desert and Zoo and Garden outside of Palm Springs. They miss the giraffe feeding at the zoo that she's trying to go to. Then they end up going by this like dinosaur sculpture place that is actually a creationist store, which sounds hilarious that I kind of want to go to, not gonna lie. Their tire gets blown out and they have to take an Uber back and they have to like walk part of the way back to the Airbnb. Like it's just a
Because there's
mess.
traffic in Palm
Yeah.
Springs. That part, I was like, what?
It must be Trixie Mattel must be playing.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
The line at Trixie Motel is too long.
Yep. Yep. But like as all these things are going wrong, like the tension keeps building and it's building both in like on a vacation when stuff goes wrong and you're miserable because it's hot, you're gonna be upset. But also there's the
Hmm.
tension of them continually not talking about what they both desperately want to talk about.
Right. Pushing it under the rug
Yeah.
just the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the combo of girl who never wants to stay in one place because they have so much commitment, fear of commitment, and boy who must make everyone make sure that they're safe and okay before he is safe and okay. Bad combo with communication.
Hmm.
Do you know how
Yeah,
much
yeah, yeah.
therapy after this book they have to be in to continue to be in a relationship?
So much.
So much.
They have to.
Yes.
They'll both get complexes.
Yes. As the flashbacks get closer and closer, like the 5 summers back at the Sanibel Islands, is when she's like, oh, wait, I'm in love. Oh, no.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he just broke up with Sarah, which we
Hmm.
learn that reason
Yes.
later.
Yes.
And
Gosh, this
it's
book.
got a horrible, what a horrible trip to Sanibel, which is a beautiful place.
Where's
If it's
Sanibel?
rainy. It's right off of like Tampa.
Okay, Florida. I was like,
Yeah, it's in Florida.
I didn't know where in the world it was.
Yeah, it's really pretty there. Um, and like
Hmm.
it's like a cute little beach town. Like people, there's not a lot of people on in cars there, and like tons of like
Hmm.
beach cruisers and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, such a bummer that it rained the whole time.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's the one where they go to the bar that's like at the opening.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's fun. Then as they finally get back to the hotel, or maybe it's the next day. I don't know if it's I know it's is it that same night after they walk back from the tire popping?
Hmm. In
Yeah.
Palm Springs.
Yeah. They get back to the hotel and Alex is like, let's go check into a hotel. We are adults with adult money.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
go.
dying here. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. And Poppy's like convinced. She's like, no, we have to do the trip like we used to do it. And then like they have this huge argument. Like Alex is like, we can't go back ever after Croatia. They're out on that weird porch, um, and it starts to rain, and they end up kissing. And then it cuts to another flashback, which is just like, Emily Henry, how dare you? Ah. But it's this flashback I love. It's the one where they're supposed to go to Norway and she's like, I'm gonna
Oh,
bring him to the ice hotel because he's gonna love it. Which is
because when
such
they
a
were in Sanibel, he was like, next year we're going somewhere cold.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. And she ends up getting super sick, like she gets like pneumonia or something. And
Hmm.
she like refuses to ask him for help specifically or for him to change his plans because of all their complex relationship dynamic and she knows his issues. And so then he shows up like it's off the he doesn't go all the way to Norway, but he stays in comes to New York and he shows up and like takes care of her. And I'm just like, this part
Yeah,
I was crying at. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
same. Without asking, and she's like really sick,
yeah,
like scary sick.
yeah, like
And
should
like
have been at
if
the
you've ever
hospital.
like, yeah, if you've ever like been in that place, it's
Mm-hmm.
very scary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, so I love that we get this flashback here because they just had the argument that turned into a kiss. Then we see how much they actually care about each other. And then the next chapter, they fuck on the balcony.
So eloquent. Yeah,
Yep.
that's how it happens.
Yeah. And
On the
they,
balcony that faces the pool. Mhm.
yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, it does have that construction plastic that's only kind of ripped because they kind of ripped it to get
Mhm.
airflow. So it's mostly covered,
Okay, sure.
at least in my head.
Okay, well.
But there's also this like old couple that they've met a couple times throughout Palm Springs, Stacy and Bob, who um they like leave this note or a gift card for them, like some Groupon. And in the note, they're like, we thought we heard some lovemaking. We assumed it was the newlyweds, the
Yeah.
honeymooners. And I was just like, I love Stacy. I also love Bob's like, yep, that's what she does.
No, at that point I was like, oh, what a nightmare.
But they finally go to a hotel. Finally.
Yeah.
I totally forgot all about the Italy trip.
The Tuscany one where they
Yeah.
bring their boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How uncomfortable
Yeah.
for everyone.
When we first hear about the trip, we still think Sarah and Alex are together, but later we find out that they had broken up.
Hmm.
But she's still on the trip because Poppy was bringing Trey or whoever she was dating at that time. And
No, I think they were still together, Alex
are
and Sarah, but they
they
were
break
like
up
on
right
the
after?
outs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I forgot
Which
about
is like
this whole
so
part.
telling.
Yes. Yikes. Um, Poppy has a pregnancy scare and uh doesn't tell Trey, who would have been the pregnancy scare's father. Instead, runs and tells Alex, or Alex is there when I guess she doesn't run to Alex. She's just sitting there and Alex goes and comforts her. And, it ends up being like the test ends up being negative. But in reaction, okay, I want your thoughts on this. In reaction to Poppy's pregnancy scare, that has nothing to do with Alex. Alex gets a vasectomy.
Which is crazy. And he like doesn't talk to his longtime girlfriend about it.
Hmm. What a reaction.
It's not like super extreme. It's
Yeah.
pretty extreme. But I think he was just like, oh, I have to do this for Poppy. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't want to have kids right now. But
Yeah.
also like getting a vasectomy is like people say it's reversible and it technically is, but like it really reduces the chance of
Yeah.
having kids in the future. So like
Yeah.
Alex doesn't get like drunk tattoos. Alex gets panicked post-pregnancy scare of his best friend vasectomies.
That he has no involvement with.
Right, right.
They haven't even kissed at this point in their timeline.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it was so wild. And then the more we find out about him and Sarah's relationship, I'm like, poor Sarah.
I feel bad for Sarah.
Yes.
She's very much framed as like a not a villain, but like a wrench in the middle of
Hmm.
Poppy and Alex.
Yeah.
But I just feel so bad for her, like
Hmm.
having to watch her, someone who she loves, really,
Hmm.
just like be totally obsessed and way more in love with somebody else. Ugh. And then he'd be like, let's go on a trip together. I would be like, no,
I can't imagine.
no, it would
No.
be horrible.
Yeah. After that flashback, they have like more conversation about that trip specifically, and this is when Poppy finds out about the vasectomy and that it happened without Sarah's knowledge, and she says, "I feel guilty about," like she expresses the guilt about their relationship, Alex and Sarah's, but also about Sarah, which
Mhm.
if Poppy had not had those emotions, I would be like, man, I don't care about Poppy. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
because she is self-aware about her actions, I'm like, okay. I can give you grace. It's not all your fault. It's a lot of Alex's fault, but like also I understand.
Yeah, it gives a lot of like humanity to Poppy, I
Hmm.
think. and just shows like how aware of herself she is. I feel like a lot of classic manic pixie dream girls, like the reason they annoy me is because they are so unaware of how their actions impact other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, well, I'm just being free. But like Poppy's very much not free. She
Mm-hmm.
like it's a lot of the free-spirited stuff is a part of her personality, but a lot of it is still an act.
Yes.
And so she is still very aware of like herself and how she impacts other people.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. She's the most grounded Manic Pixie Dream Girl I think I've read or watched. Because, and I think part of it too is that she didn't grow up super rich or affluent,
Hmm.
like affluent? Affluent. Whereas, we're talking about Rachel, her New York bestie is definitely rich and is way less like she's grounded in the way that she like is under aware of her job and like the whole dog stuff of it all, but not in the other way. So like it's interesting. I think that has a big part of it is because of her family.
Yeah.
It makes her, yeah, seem way more grounded. They go to the wedding and they have a cute little time and like they dance together.
And they've
Alex is
admitted that they love each other at this point. But
yes.
Poppy, she's still making me
Uh-huh.
mad. She's
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, like I love him, like maybe just as like a friend still. It's like, girl.
Girl, I just had sex twice in a day. Once on a balcony. I'm not having sex with anyone on a balcony that I don't love. Are you kidding
Hmm.
me? That's just me.
I'm not doing it regardless, but
That's just you.
that's just me.
Um, but the wedding, nothing bad happens at the wedding, and I do like that Poppy kind of calls out Alex's dad and like letting Alex like be like, if he didn't have to do all this stuff because you couldn't handle your grief, you forced him to handle your grief. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, the dad is like, "Oh, I wish your mom could be here," and Alex is like, "Yeah, that would be
hmm
lovely." And then his dad like starts to like break apart, and Poppy goes, he's like saying like, "Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this weekend without her." She's
hmm
like, "You'll fucking do it, bro,"
hmm
because David, the brother who's getting married, is your son, and he needs you, and all your boys need you.
hmm
And I was like, "Yes,
hmm
Poppy."
Yes. But then they go and have an argument at the airport and everything breaks down.
Okay, I was very happy because in my head, because I didn't remember this book very much,
hmm
in my head, like something happened at the wedding. And so like she doesn't end up going, and that would have happened in any other book, I feel like.
hmm
In
hmm
most other romance books, like the wedding would have, like a big scene would have happened, but nothing happens. Like the wedding
hmm
is good, it's cute. David and his husband, or
hmm
whatever, they get married and it's nice and they have a nice time. And then yeah, the disaster does end up striking, but it doesn't happen at the wedding. And I like that because it makes like ruined weddings make me upset.
Yes. They're too expensive to ruin.
That's right.
Only one that can ruin it is the bride and the groom. No one else can ruin it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've been seeing a lot of ruined wedding content
Oh
for some
no.
whatever reason.
That's not good. But yeah, at the airport they have their big argument, which isn't like much of an argument just based off who they are as people. But it
Right.
took them until they're like, okay, we're gonna say goodbye. What's next? And Alex is fully like, we're together forever. This is it. I've been waiting over 10 years. I'm in love. This is my wife. Come on, wife, let's go home to Ohio. Right? That's what he's thinking. And then she's like,
But he's also applying to schools, like to teach
yes,
in New York at this point.
yes,
So like he's also making plans to like if this happens, he could
mm-hmm,
move
yes,
for her.
yes, yeah. And she is having her commitment phobia just kind of take over and be like, yes, I
Yeah.
love you, but I don't know what that means. And he's like, Bobby, we just did this for years. Come on.
hmm
Come
Yeah,
on.
the fight starts super silly,
Hmm.
where like he finds out that
Oh yeah,
she
lied.
isn't, yeah, that she lied about her magazine job. Okay.
You have to stick with
Paying.
it.
It just feels so wrong to say out loud. Her magazine job paying for the trip and that she's been paying out of
Hmm.
pocket. And she just like, Poppy, think about the words before you say them. But she's
Hmm.
like, yeah, I just needed an escape from my life. And he's like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
That's all this was? Like, that's all I am is like an escape from your normal life. And then you'll go back to it. And what, we'll go back to like texting every once in a while. And
Hmm.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they like essentially break up and go back to their homes. And Poppy goes to therapy. Um, and the therapist is like, go sit in your discomfort. And I was like, how rude. I've been told to do that, and I find it really rude.
One thing that you, me, and Poppy all have in common is our propensity to tell people we are fine when in fact it is not fine.
Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing is wrong. But yeah, I do like that this book, when we have this like third act breakup, it makes sense for them as characters throughout the book. Like chapter 3, Poppy and Alex would have the same situation without the knowledge that I learned. I also really
hmm
like that she does something about it that's more than just like, oh, I miss him. Oh no. Like there's actions she is
Right.
doing. And
Because
I
that's what she
love
did
that.
after Croatia, we
Hmm.
find out. She basically was like, he'll come to me, like, it'll be
Hmm.
fine. Like, we've, you know,
Yeah.
just if I sweep it under the rug, it'll be eventually fine. And then,
Hmm.
it wasn't. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's growth, baby.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
character growth right there.
yeah. I also love that she ends up running into her middle school bully randomly in the city,
Oh, in New York.
right?
And
I mean,
that's kind of her catalyst is
yeah.
like is
Yeah.
he's
He's
like,
like,
well, sorry that I lied about you giving me a random
hmm.
BJ in a
Hmm.
janitor's closet.
Yeah,
Hopefully that didn't mess you up too bad. Jason.
I know. Fucking
We've
Jason.
all had a Jason.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, so that's done. So I can stop thinking about that at least. And she
Yeah.
decides to quit her job to do something else, right? She's kind of like not sure exactly what she's doing. She's thinking about doing her blog again, you know, whatever other options, just trying to figure out what she's going to do. But she does know she's going to go back to Linfield and go find Alex. Um, and she has this whole plan, right? So she goes all the way to Ohio, goes to high school, walks in. Alex isn't there, but she runs into Sarah.
Well, the doors are locked because it's a high
Yes.
school in
Yes.
2021 or whenever this is set,
Hmm.
post Columbine
Yep.
high school. So
Hmm. Hmm.
the doors are locked, and the janitor is like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to let you in. That's
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
And then Sarah finds her and is
Hmm.
like, I thought Sarah was very nice,
Yes.
considering.
Yes. And Poppy apologizes to her, which I love
hmm
that
That's
that
a big
happens.
step. Yeah.
Yes. Um, and then Sarah's like, teachers go to this bar. He's probably there. He likes to stick to a routine. And she goes out to the bar in front of probably half of those teachers were her teachers who saw her probably deal with bullying. So she's
hmm
like, it's understandable how much Poppy does not want to live back in Linfield due to her high school bullying, and specifically not back to the high school where Alex teaches at because that's where she went. Very understandable. This whole like beyond the like like expressing like all of her love to Alex, she's facing her biggest like place of trauma, you know?
Yeah,
Like that
directly head
itself is a
on.
huge
Like
grandeur.
going to the high school and then going in front of these teachers. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
literally facing down her
Yeah.
fears.
Yeah. And
Yay, Poppy.
and then she like she like pours out her heart to Alex in this bar, and then Alex says nothing.
Which is very Alex coded.
Yeah, and like and says I don't agree or something like that. I mean that's all he says, like I don't agree. And then Poppy's like, okay, and then leaves to go to the car because she's like, weird, awkward. Um, and that chapter ends there, which I was like, again, I forgot how this book ended. So I was like, what's going to happen? He doesn't,
Hmm.
like he didn't, what? What's what? And then thankfully, the next chapter opens, he's chasing after her. And I'm like, oh, thank God. First, one second, the whole the page turn, I was like, oh no, oh no. Okay.
The whole 1 second that the page was
hmm
turning,
It was a
Janessa was
lot.
full panic
I
mode.
was. Um, and then they have this big like reconciliation where he's like, tells her why he's scared and what he wants and what she wants, and they essentially are like, we'll figure it out, we'll be together. In the epilogue, we find out they go to New York. She has a new column where she talks of it's called People, right? It's called People We Meet on Vacation, or it's called
People we meet in New York,
in New York,
where
yes.
she just like finds interesting
Yeah.
people
It's
and
like that photo, People of New York, the Instagram page,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, which again makes more sense to me than magazine job.
Magazine job is nonsense, but like newspaper article, that's
Yes,
or
that's
like
a job.
a opinion piece. That's a job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a job. Yeah, and they
That's
do
what Carrie
summers.
Bradshaw did.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they do summers in Ohio, and it's like happily ever after. And
Well, they're
I
figuring it
just,
out still.
yeah.
They're like, we don't know. We're gonna see where our lives fit
hmm
best.
hmm
And I kind of
Yeah.
like that.
I do too. I like that it's like they're choose not choosing either. He's fixing up his like grandma's home. So that's an emotional thing for both of them. Just trying to figure out the next steps. But like I said earlier, they definitely need therapy to work on their communication skills, both of them. Yikes.
And my headcanon is that they continue to go to therapy because
hmm People should.
people should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, I enjoyed this way more the second time around.
same.
Yeah.
Like I remember at the when I first read it, I like you, I didn't remember anything about the end really. That's why
hmm
when you sent me that voice note, I was dying laughing because I was like, this all sounds right to me. Janessa sent me the funniest voice note, but like probably like a week and a half
Yeah.
ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was just like her trying to remember what happens in the book. And it was very funny and it made me laugh very hard. Um, and it was very Janessa
hmm
coded. And I,
Yeah, that's what
but
happens.
I was like laughing because I was like, yeah, I mean, sure, that sounds right to me.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I just don't care like what happens at the end of
hmm
this book the first time I read it. And I
hmm
was so invested the second
hmm
time. So
hmm
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad I was forced to reread it.
Yes. Yes. Forced to reread it. You were like, if any Emily Henry book becomes a movie, I call dibs. So you forced yourself.
Yeah, listen, that's because I wasn't expecting this one to be the first, okay? This is
None of
by
us were,
far her most popular, I think.
which I don't get.
I don't get it either.
And people love dressing up as Poppy, and they wear essentially like what Hannah Montana would wear, but a little bit sluttier. And they call it Poppy clothes, which I don't mind. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's cute. Like, as someone, again, as a millennial, I get it. But also,
she does dress very how I imagine.
yes,
Yeah, like you would wear bright orange pants.
yes, I would.
As is
Yeah,
known, I'm not much of a color person.
it's true.
Unless that color is black.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the movie tonight. Honestly, probably
Yeah,
after I
same,
cook
same.
dinner.
Hmm.
I've only heard good things, you
Yeah,
know?
it's getting really kind of positive
Yeah,
reviews on,
yeah.
and I've only ever seen, so Emily, the
hmm
actress who plays Poppy, I've only ever seen her in My Lady Jane, the
hmm
show, obviously,
Which I
which I
still have
thought
yet
was
to
fun.
watch.
Oh, have you read the book?
I read the book, yeah, because I gave the book to
Yeah.
Sarah and she became
Oh, that's right.
obsessed.
And then she gave
Yeah,
it to me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I love her. I think she's really funny.
hmm
I think she'll be a good Poppy. And then
hmm
Tom
Tom
Blythe,
Blythe.
who who
Oh,
plays Alex. The only thing I've ever seen him in
is
is as
Songbird and
Coriolanus
Snake.
Snow.
But like he's so
And
beautiful that
that's
I'm
he's
okay.
so beautiful. And with his
Yeah.
brown hair, especially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. It's
Yeah,
gonna be hard not to text you my thoughts.
I know. I know. Text Sarah, and then I'll text Sarah, but then tell her not to tell. She'll be our middleman, except we don't want the communication to be
No.
between us.
Yes. Uh,
We haven't watched the movie yet, but I'm excited because there's like no like the big era of rom-coms. We just don't have that anymore. And I thought like it was starting again with The Materialist, which Janessa and I saw in theaters, and I hated.
hmm
So I'm excited for a true rom-com.
Yes. Yes.
And I haven't liked any of like that weird one with Sydney Sweeney. I didn't like that one.
Anyone but you. It was
Mm.
fine. My
And
mom liked it, but that makes sense. My mom's
yeah.
old. She doesn't listen to podcasts. She always asks
Yeah.
me, where do I find it? And I'm like, no,
Nah.
nah, don't
That,
worry about
that
it.
doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited because
Yes.
we need
Between
a
this and
new
Hated
era.
Rivalry.
There's only so much
hmm
of My Big Fat Greek Wedding I can watch all in a row at one time. Okay?
I think the limit doesn't exist.
Well, y you know how many
hmm
times I've watched
Yes,
it all
yes,
in a row. So
I do know. Um, I believe all of her books, with exception to The Great BBL, are have been bought to be adapted.
they've been optioned, yeah,
Optioned,
which
yeah, that's the word
means
I was
not
looking.
anything
Yeah.
until like I get a release date. I don't believe
hmm
anything, but
Yeah. Thanks, Marissa, for being on the pod.
I love being here. I moved along. Nobody knows this, but I moved.
Mm,
So Janessa and I haven't seen each other
I
since.
know. Boo.
Boo.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Read the Book First Podcast. Rate us 5 stars. If you don't want to, don't worry about
Don't worry
it.
about it. Don't, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say
Don't say it at
nothing
all.
at all.
All. Yes. Next
Patreon.
week will. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Check out our Patreon, linked below. Marissa and I will have a video where we're fan casting the other books of Emily Henry. I need to make
And
a
if you guys
note
join
of that.
Patreon, we'll go to Victoria Island and we'll recreate Alex and Poppy's vacation there without the
Okay.
romance part. But
Yeah, I
doesn't
was
this sound
like,
fun?
that does sound fun. I mean,
I'm
it's
not
going on a
making out
boat.
with a I'm not making out with the water taxi
I mean,
driver.
neither.
Well, sure.
I'll be the taxi driver. I can drive a
You're
boat.
betrothed. Okay.
Okay, but I can drive a boat and then kiss myself.
I love that. I love that for
Yeah,
you. Self
self-love.
self-love.
Thanks for listening, and remember, read the book first.